Hello everyone, welcome to the lab tutorial. Today we're gonna build a painter program. In this tutorial, you guys lab assignment is gonna be the adding up all the necessary user interfaces for the basic functionality of a painter, right? While considering what is it, the perceived affordance and signifiers and all the things you guys learned from the class, hopefully, right? And think of your potential user. Please be concrete. So, just to make a new project, a cute widgets application, and choose it. And what you guys supposed to have is, oh yeah, here we go. So, uh, the project location. So, lab painter tutorial, and next, and my kit for the compile, the all the program, all the compilation environment is here. MSVC 2017 64-bit, which is good, and I'm not against the basic class name, so I click next, and hopefully git version control. I added it. I found this just enabling it is pretty useful, right? No matter you really upload it to GitHub later or not, right? So git. Okay, here we go. So we have our Painter tutorial, and we have our basic main window UI, right? And this is by default, so which is pretty good. And for the painter, what I'm supposed to do right now in this tutorial is we're gonna build our own custom widget. Oh, you say, oh, Dr. Park, you said you own custom widget. We've been just consumers of the widgets, but now we're creating a widget, right? So which is exciting. So that's right. So I'm gonna do that, which is good. So here, first thing you do is right click on a Painter tutorial and add new C++ class and choose it and name it um, okay, the painter scribble, so to say, scribble area, and the class name is this, and you inherit uh, QWizard to make sure you guys are working with that and everything is fine. Okay, so next, and you add it to project as well as the version control. Here we go. You're good to go. And you have scribble area header file and the CPP file. So let me load a CPP file here and header file here. And what you guys are supposed to do in the header file side is, okay, you click the class name and then right click and then refactor. Then you can implement you can insert the virtual functions, override all of them. And what you guys are supposed to do is mouse press event, mouse release event, because this is a scribble, a painter kind of a thing, right? And yeah, I don't know if the font size is too small or not, but I'm talking about the mouse press event and mouse release event. Those are the children of Q widget. If you scroll down a little bit, and you have a mouse move event and two more paint event and resize event. Those five: mouse press, mouse release, mouse move, paint, and resize. Okay. Okay, here we go. Pretty good. So QWidget interfaces, all the override functions, you have it. And for the private, you need a private data and functions and whatsoever like that. So image, this is going to be our foundation data structure to store the image information, and later on you guys will use something like is okay. So the mechanism here is like that. So if the scribble area is getting clicked by a user like left mouse button click, and then it will understand, now the user is trying to draw something. It's the beginning, right? So we enable trigger on a boolean variable like a scribbling, so to say, and then while user is moving the cursor while holding the left button, you will follow and draw all the lines following, and then mouse release, then you stop drawing, right? So scribbling boolean variable is gonna be like kind of a state handling the variable, so it's gonna be useful. And the next is my pen. Yeah, you guys need to have a pen information, scribbling and painting. You guys need to have a pen width and color basically. So width and Q color, my pen color, and later on we're gonna use what is it? Q point, uh, last point. This is gonna be used for memorizing the last point of the mouse action, so that in the following mouse action event you guys can draw something from the last point to the current point like that. So those are that, and what I'm gonna define in a private is void resize image, q image, and no, reset image. Let's say reset image, and so to say it's just a reset image. It's gonna be fine. Yeah, reset image, and the void draw line 2. So in case the on the mouse events, series of mouse events, you guys need to draw a line. So const q point and end point and void draw. Later on I will add one more feature, that is a text, right? Const q point at, like that. So at the given point you guys draw text, and at a given point you guys draw a line like that. So those are gonna be all the necessary functions, I believe, right now. And let's move on to the CPP file, and let's implement one by one all the functions. So what you guys supposed to do is refactor at definition of the first function, refactor definition, right? Boom, right? And then get back to header file and refactor definition, and get back to header file, add one by one definition. So you guys see in the actual CPP file, you guys are seeing all the implementation definition is being added, right? And here reset image. So this is way easier for you guys to work on, right? Hope you guys are fully taking advantage of those IDE support, which is good, right? So you guys have them, and all the functions, all the function snippets are already included here. And let me implement the most fundamental, the functionalities of it. So set attribute, cute WA, not Washington, static contents. This is actually giving a widget an attribute that the contents is going to be static, not crazy all around. And if you say something else, then this is actually the making everything clear in in a widget definition. So it is just like a kind of necessary kind of blurb. So just memorize and use it as necessary next time. And later on, what you're supposed to do is the initialization. So scribbling is false. Now the user is not drawing anything. My pen color is cute blue. No. The non-capitalized blue, and my pen width is, so say 1 or 2, whatever. So let's say 2. I want I don't want to, the too light kind of a pen width. So okay, and you may want to reset your image because it is initialization kind of state. So you reset image, you call it, and you implement your reset image. So if so let's say we will use the reset image function for two reasons. First one is initialization, and then next is for the resizing event. Because if we first create a widget without any extra information, then it's gonna be making just arbitrary kind of or by default value size, the by default size kind of a widget, and then the Qt system will fit the widget in to the system, and then it will resize it immediately. So initialization and resize, it happens at the same time, the whatsoever. And we are going to use the reset image, from the initialization side, and then resize event side at the same time. So no, I mean both of the events. So what are you gonna do right now is we will see like a Q image. We will make a new image Q size width. If you just call width inside of the widget, then the widget width is going to be returned, and height like this. So you may want to do something like let me see, what does it say? No matching constructor Q image. So it is saying it is nagging at us, right? So yeah, it happens. So sometimes Q image. So Q image, you include that, and then it's gonna be fine. Let me see. Yeah. So yeah, this one, and comma, and Q image format. You guys need to have one more thing, that is Q image format underbar RGB32 to specify the actual the image format. So red, green, blue, you guys are supposed to use the 32-bit image, the pixel format, and Q size, width, and height. Then you guys can initialize a new image. So before that, let me do something for the Q size, the canvas size, widget size is a Q size like that, so to say. And then Q image here, new image is widget size, and then you guys are, you guys are creating a image canvas, 100% big to the widget. And now next one is you guys have now new image, and you fill that in with the color RGB and 255, 255, and 255. Means like, okay, white, right? RGB values maximum, then this is this is the white. And then you guys made a new image, then copy it to this objects. I mean this class scribble areas image, right? Image is new image. Here we go. Then you guys could reset that, right? So here is the thing, and one more thing is that in the resize event, I told you guys resize is the next important event. So reset image, you just call it reset image, and then the image is resetted, and then you call update Update means like you guys are emitting a signal that this widget is updated, so to be repainted pretty soon. And QWidget resize event. This is pretty much the by default kind of functionality when you implement an override function. And for the resize event, the calling the QWidget resize event by default event handler is necessary. So it's gonna be better. So do that. And the next is actually you guys say paint event. So paint. This is a paint and repaint, it is actually the embracing all of those events. And then what you're supposed to do here is QPainter, painter, and this. So you guys are defining a painter. So like is a kind of object. So you guys are supposed to define a painter object. And what does it say? The variable has incomplete type, a QPainter. Okay, so include Qt widgets. If you if you include this, then everything is gonna be fine. Hopefully. Otherwise, yeah. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so after it analyzed everything, it's done. So which is good. And now we are in a paint event, and here is a QRect. Yeah, this is a little bit what is it? A little bit specific and kind of a thing around. Let me explain it. Dirty rectangle is event rectangle. Means like, okay, the mechanism is here. Okay, so if a certain part, this is a whole the widget, let's say, and then let's say this much part is updated, then the updating the whole parts is actually the waste of time, right? So sometimes, I mean, the paint event in this paint event kind of a thing, the parameter actually has the area information to be for the area to be updated, right? So that is actually rectangle, and that is called a dirty rectangle. So like it is dirty, so let's repaint it, right, like that. And here what you guys are supposed to do is a painter, you call it, and draw image and dirty rect image dirty rect. So the image class, the image instance is actually a buffer of that image, the current one, and then okay, the for some reason, like you had a window, but there's something else is covered and then get out, so that you guys need to repaint that, then that area is gonna be repainted right now. So just draw the image once again, then you're gonna be fine. So those are right now all necessary for the basic functionality. And now it's time for us to go to UI. So UI, and please give a enough large enough the canvas area, UI area for you. And what you guys are supposed to have is the vertical layout. Okay, you guys have one vertical layout like this, right? And let's say this is by default area, and you guys are later on for the lab assignment, you guys are supposed to the place the UI elements like buttons, or to choose the brush size, or the pen width or colors, or text or something. And this one, the red box, is actually the place for the scribble area widget, right? And we have our vertical layout, right, in the UI. Okay, so let's rename it like scribble placeholder, right? Scribble placeholder is one, and you save it and run. Let me make sure to have have a full idea that this is working, right? Okay, here we go. So, where is the application? Okay, application is here, right? Which is good, and it is invisible, yeah, right? Because it is just a placeholder. So now we're gonna be add in your code main window.cpp and main window.h. So in your main window h, what you're supposed to do is you define. Before then, you need to include it. Scribble and scribble area, right? And this is your scribble area, the object, widget object. And what you guys supposed to do is here in the main window CPP, you guys initialize new scribble area, right? For the constructor, and set of UI and UI scribble placeholder add widget that is scribble area, like this. Then as soon as it is constructed main window, it's gonna be initializing the new scribble area, and then it will add that widget to this placeholder, right? And it will be automatically initialize your image to white background, 255, 255, 255 background, and they'll draw it, right? Nicely and good. You see, this is now the white background, and you guys can the move it, and it will keep redrawing with the image information, which is cool. So this is good, and I'll move to the scribble area, that's CPP. And now we're gonna be working with mouse press event. Oh yeah, it's gonna be super cool. So the first thing is that we need to check is if inside of the mouse press event, mouse press and mouse move and the mouse release is the correct the order, right? Click, move, and release, right? So I mean, click is this, right? Press, move, and release. Okay, let me clarify. And mouse press event, mouse has a lot of keys, right? So event button, if the mouse press events button information has an information of a left button, right? And then last point equal event position. And scribbling true. So it means like, okay, so last point actually holds the one previous state, one previous position of the mouse pointer, and it will hold that for us to draw a line from the last position to the current position every time, in the next. And then scribbling true means like, okay, now in a drawing mode. And then mouse move event, let's go there. And if event buttons, now we use buttons, it is different. Let me explain after I write this line. Left button and scribbling. So, and then I will draw line to event pause. Okay, what this means is that, okay, so you press the left button, but in the meantime, while you're dragging, there might be some users like clicking the right button altogether, right? So like in the meantime, there might not be any one the mouse click. So right. So we here mouse move, we use AND operator. I'm sorry, AND operator to check if, okay, there might be multiple buttons, but we want to check if the left button is now being pressed, right? So it's a one. So we use, instead of the double equal, we use AND. because if the left button is pressed, then the event buttons, that bit, this is bit operator, so that bit side is gonna be true, so it will return us true. And if this is true and scribbling is true, then we draw line from the last position to the current position. And in the mouse release event, what it's supposed to do is if event button, press and release actually gives us only one data, like a button is cute left button and scribbling. If it was being scribbled, it was being scribbled, then we say draw the line, then scribbling is false. So this is a kind of a quick state machine. So the click and I mean press and move and release. And press and release gives only a button, but a move event gives us a multiple the flags for the mouse button information. So buttons in this case. So we use the press and move and release sequence is right now the implemented. And the next one is, okay, Dr. Park, how to draw a line, right? It's yeah, that's important. So let me add some debugging kind of information around here so that we can make sure our logic is awesome right now. So for the mouse press event, std cout mouse press, right? Std in the line, and mouse move and mouse release. So mouse move and mouse print, so all of them are going with now the debugging message. And let's see. So here what you have is application output. Here we go. Press, move, release. You see here, down here, press, move, release, right? Move is a lot because you know the refresh rate of the screen is pretty fast, right? But one thing is true, that is there is a press and move and release event sequence, right? And there are a lot of move events though, but it is what it is. So let me next implement draw line 2, that is drawing a line, right? So it is taking an endpoint reference, the constant, you know, the endpoint reference, because we are not gonna touch this endpoint, but on the referring to the value. So the endpoint is the current point, and then from the last point to the end point we draw, and then we update the last point into the current endpoint. So that we can track the position of the mouse pointer, right? So here, let's see, the first thing, whenever you do something, you need to define a painter. QPainter, painter is end image. So painter needs an image to play with, so image buffer to play with, and then we fed the current image in this guy. It's a memory address to the painter, right? And then painter set pen, QPen, my pen color. Pen color is first, and then my pen width is next, and line style, cute solid line, and cute cap style, round cap, and cute and join, round join. If yeah, the caps and joins are all the necessary style elements. If you are interested in, please press F1 function 1 in a set pen, then you will get an extra information how to do that and make it a different style. And painter, you set the pen and then now draw a line from the last point to the end point, right? You got it? and you just draw something and on the image, and then you need to reflect the image change back to the screen, so you need to call update. Okay, please call the redraw function at your convenience, the Qt system. And then, lastly, you update the last point by the end point, so that the next time, when the move mouse move is called, mouse move event is called, you guys can draw, next piece of the line, right? So that's it. I believe those are pretty much enough for us to draw draw the lines on the screen. Here we go. So, boo, now it's moving, right? You guys see? Now you guys can draw anything on the screen, the easy and nice. And then, so you guys saw, I mean, mouse press and release a move. There are a lot of move events. So, I mean, they are actually, the our codes is actually the drawing a lot of line segments. So, it is actually looking like a curve or something, but what it is actually is those are all the lines, right? So those are that. And yeah, so this is one, and I gave you guys a lot of information like a pen width and the pen color, right? So those are gonna be, the you guys kind of a to play the what is it, the elements for you guys to play with, like in your GUI. I will ask you guys to put a additional buttons or any the other screen elements to make a, to choose the pen width and color in between a variety of options, right? And the next is actually a text. So you guys will make a painter, the scribble kind of an app with providing the pen style and then text functionality. So okay, so you may ask me, Dr. Park, okay, here's we're done with the line drawing, but how about the text? Okay, what are you talking about? So yeah, here is it. So let me see. Let me say if the button is a left button, then it is starting the process of the line drawing, right? So let me comment it out: mouse press and mouse release and mouse move, because we actually all finished our validation. And then if event button is Qt right button, right? If the button is right one, then let's say draw text, right? Draw text, event position. Okay, which text, Dr. Park? I'm gonna give a static, the hard-coded text, but you may want to give a different one, right? Through the UI. So here is okay, and then a draw text. Let me implement and show you guys how to implement the text draw. So Q Painter, painter in the image. Every time you try to draw something, you need to have a painter, and then painter draw text, add hello, like this, and update, and then you're good to go, right? Let's see. Boom. Hello, 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 hello. Blah. Hello, 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 hello. Blah. Hello, 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 hello. Right? Hello, guys. Right. So this is one, and okay, it's gonna be a little bit earlier for me to say that's it. Bottom. Let me give you one more thing, that is font. Q font. Let's say let me define one font. Serif font, that is times style, and 15 the font size, and the point size is the font size, and then Q font is a boldface, so to say. And painter set font serif font. Then I gave you guys an information how to change a font, right? So which is cool. So this is it. And if you just click F1 or Google, the Qt 512 and the Q font, then you will be able to get some informations how to deal with it. Like, so this is actually, I just copied it from this example. Serif font is times and 10, and Q font bold, but I changed it to the 15. And Helvetica, the sans serif fonts, and all the other, the interesting things is possible. So you run that, and you draw. While you are drawing, you guys can draw and click hello, hello, hello. And this is kind of, or is it snail? A snail. And snail is telling you guys hello, 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 hello. SPU Parkons, go forever. Yay, go Falcons. Here we go. So this is my tutorial for you guys, how to make basic functionalities of Scribble widget, right? And enjoy the lab assignment.